Hello, dear Virgos. My name is Michaela. Welcome to my channel for astrology, Todayenergy. And this is the monthly forecast for April for all sun, moon, and rising Virgos. So April will be an interesting month, at the very least to say. We have two new moons. One of them is a solar eclipse. We have this magical conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. At the end of the month, Pluto goes retrograde. So it's a mixed bag with a lot of energies, tension, karmic events, but also we hope for support from the universe. Of course, I believe if we keep our faith. And so we start the month on the 1st of April with the new moon at 11 degrees of Aries. New moons always bring possibilities for new fresh start, new beginnings, new opportunities, and that's concerning your 8th house in your chart. So we're talking about either new financial possibilities for you, for your family, for your partner, for your business, especially anything that is not exactly like what you work for, but what you get as credits, loans, support from the government, scholarships, alimony, inheritances. Of course, it could be hopefully some increase in the salary, let's say, of your spouse, of your partner, or investments in your business, or you start getting this pays off from your investments. As well, 8th house is about intimacy, exactly our closest people that we trust the most. So there might be this new special person in your life, maybe with the one that you have already, there will be ideas or conversations about common budget, moving in together, for instance, or having a baby, having a child together. And last but not least, 8th house is about psychology, esoterics, deep internal emotional transformations, outside crisis situations too, which lead to this personal rebirth. So you might be facing something like this. Or maybe you just will be interested in, let's say, astrology or tarot, or you will find a psychologist for yourself or book yourself a consultation with an astrologer and have this important, insightful conversation. Now, I usually recommend people writing down their wishes around the new moon, because it's like planting the seeds, which later will grow into manifestation in reality of our desires. But if you forget to do it on the 1st of April, this time you'll have a second chance just 2 days later. Now, I'm talking Bulgarian time, Eastern European time. You can check it out, especially for where you live. But the night from the 2nd of April to the 3rd of April, more specifically, the hours between 10 o'clock in the evening on the 2nd and 7:30 in the morning on the 3rd are very special, because we have then the exact conjunction of Mercury and the Sun. Now, Mercury is your ruler, Virgo. So I assume that maybe let's say from the end of March, the last days of March, and generally speaking till the 7th of April, you won't be feeling like at your fullest potential as usually, let's say, especially concerning maybe communication, relationships, maybe your this famous Virgo ability to discern, to think logically, analytically. There might be some kind of brain eclipse situation. Why? Because ancient astrologers believed that when a planet moves too close to the sun, it's burned by the rays of the sun, by this huge energy of the brightest star of our galaxy, right? But in all this transit next to the sun, there is this special moment which lasts for several hours, and it's when the planet is exactly in the center of the sun, we can say from our earthly perspective, and that's when the planet is really enhanced. the qualities of the planet, right? Because it's like a person which is on a private audience with the ruler of the universe, with our life giver, yeah, our sun. So for you, and actually for all of us, because Mercury represents globally our way of thinking, communication, news, learning, studying, our ideas and plans for the future. So this night we can really have very insightful dreams, or if we meditate before we go to sleep on the 2nd in the evening, and maybe write down what comes to our mind as ideas. These visions can be really insightful, really genius even, I could say. And of course, if we write down our wishes and plans for the future, that can help for their manifestation. So remember these hours that I mentioned for you as well. Like you can be this bringer of genius ideas for the rest of us. Then on the 5th of April, Mars conjuncts Saturn at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Now, this is a bit of a tough energy because Mars wants action and progress. Saturn wants to, think things carefully, not rush, work hard. But together, these two planets actually can mean great effort and dedication to something particular. And in your case, that's your 6th house. So that's about work and health. Like actually classically Virgo rules 6th house topics and matters, so they're very familiar for you. That's your everyday routine, that's your work environment, your office, your colleagues, your employees, if you have such. That's your work projects that must be managed. And as well, that's serving to people, helping others, mostly through advices, but also possibly through some actions. So maybe you will be dealing at the beginning of April with some long-term important work-related projects, helping others, solving problems, maybe making some home repairs, taking care of some relative. But at the same time, 5th house is our health. So please do be mindful and careful with your health, with your routine and regime, like how much you work, how much you rest, do you have enough sleep, what do you eat, do you drink enough water? Yeah, things like this will be on the spotlight for you with this conjunction. That's good to have this resistance of Saturn here and pushiness of Mars, because you can actually go for some physical activity, start going to the gym or running, doing some exercise, and stick with this routine for a long time, because Saturn gives persistency and durability. The same day, Venus goes into Pisces, and that's your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So for those of you Virgos who are on the search for your soulmate, let's say so, you can meet some nice people, maybe just good friends, maybe that will be lucrative for your business deals. Venus might attract more clients to you, because Venus is the planet of partnerships, love, and as well money. So money can come through your partners or to your spouse and partner, as we talked about the new moon on the 1st of the month. Definitely romantic experiences and pleasant experiences with your close people. On the 10th of April, we have Mercury square Pluto. Now, that's a bit of a tough one, again, for your ruler Mercury, because Pluto is about pushing power, struggles, control, unpleasant truth coming out. But, it's all needed, so we can gain back, let's say, our control, self-control, our power, release some toxicity from our life. It's a tense day, and especially we're talking your 8th, 5th house, so it might be some arguments, let's say, concerning finances, and especially this passive incomes and joint finances, maybe with your loved ones, romantic partners, maybe with your children, or it might be some topics about pregnancy and children, as well as, of course, maybe some dealings with some financial institutions or business. Might be about financiation of your hobby or business projects. On the 11th, your ruler goes to Taurus. So for about 2 weeks, you soak the energy of Taurus while this transit lasts. So you become a bit like calmer and more grounded, more stable, practical, easygoing, right? So because you know this earthly energy, you are an earth sign, so it's innate for you to be practical. But Taurus will, because Virgos usually tend to be very worried, if not even anxious, because dealing with so many problems, trying to help people to solve some situations. Well, now Taurus will say really like slow down and chill out a bit, right? Besides, that's your 9th house. So Mercury will introduce some more talking, negotiations, communications with someone from abroad, some foreigners or international institutions. Maybe it's about traveling, sorting out some documents for travel, for residency. Maybe it's also dealing with juridical and law institutions. Courts and people who work in them, or it's about studying, maybe higher education, going to exams, getting certificates, enrolling, subscribing to some courses. So on the 12th, we have this beautiful conjunction. I hope it will bring us only the positive manifestations of Jupiter and Neptune, both rulers of Pisces, in the 23rd degree of Pisces. So the planets must be happy, but there is also like limitless energy from these two guys. You can check, I have a whole video recorded on my channel about this conjunction. It's one in a lifetime, really, so it's quite important. And of course, we do feel its energy already, like since mid-March, I would say. So for you, it's your 7th house, and really miracles can happen, manifestation of your dreams and wishes, if you are really just allowing yourself to dream, to pray, to meditate, any wishes regarding your partnerships, really finding this perfect person for you, the soulmate, or striking a big deal, because 7th house is about contracts, agreements, deals, maybe signing work contract with your dreamed institution to work in. Maybe it's something international, maybe it's a charity or NGO, because Neptune has this energy, and you know, Jupiter is about, it's about law. So maybe it's having important consultation with a serious lawyer regarding some of your court matters. But of course, I believe for many Virgos, it would mean good changes and events in your love life. So maybe engagements, getting married, moving in together, maybe taking a loan together to buy common shared property, a house. Of course, for some, it might be a liberation in the form of a divorce, if that was a burdensome connection, relation for you. On the 15th, Mars goes into Pisces, so joining all this merry crowd in your 7th house. So even more efforts in in contacts and contracts and relationships. So Mars can actually introduce either a little bit of discord, of course, or just this assertiveness. So make things a bit more clear in relationships. On the 16th, we have the full moon at 26 degree of Libra. So that's your second house. Full moons are usually culminations or endings of processes. Sometimes we have started this processes 2 weeks before, or 6 months ago when there was the new moon in same sign. So, or also full moon can bring just news and clarity, and it's about your work and finances, as well as, I could say, your health, how you care of your body, your nutrition plan, and your buyings, so like what you spend your money for. So you might just have a wonderful overview of how things financially are going for you and your budget. But of course, maybe some work project is ending and you get hopefully your deserved reward, financial reward as well. This second house talks about self-esteem. What do we value in life generally, and how do we value and appreciate ourselves and our talents, our resources like knowledge, time, work, expertise that we give in exchange for basically remuneration, money. On the 18th, we have your ruler Mercury conjuncting Uranus in Taurus in your 9th house. Well, that might bring some inner tension. You might be this day on your nerves because Uranus rules the nervous system. There might be some shocking changes, news, revelations. Again, you might be this voice of rebelliousness, change, something new coming to life. Especially in your 9th house, it might be in the place where you study, or if you work in an educational facility, university, for example, you might publish suddenly something that might surprise or shock others, because 9th house is about being an expert, being respected, leading the opinions. It's about expressing your point of view, and as well, it might be about morals, belief system, or religion. So maybe some sudden change there, or sudden meeting with some foreigner, or you suddenly go abroad. The same day, well, we have also a little bit of tension because Sun squares Pluto. And this is, for you, it's gonna feel just like the 10th of April. Now, on the 27th, it's a beautiful day for charity, for romantic experiences, love, creativity, art, if you fancy those, because Venus joins Neptune in the in your 7th house in Pisces. So that's certainly more about a romance and engagements and weddings and beautiful romantic trips, maybe outside. Of course, it could talk about lovely time with your good friends, especially if you have this kind of circle of people with whom you do some therapy or some psychological work, or maybe some spiritual practices. That would be lovely as well. On the 29th, Pluto stations to go retrograde. Now, of course, because Pluto it's the outermost planet in our solar system, and it's the slowest one. So when it slows down its speed to eventually stop and turn to go backwards, we do feel this Plutonian energy for at least a week. So let's say the last week of April will be very Plutonic, and in all the public space, let's say, there will be Plutonian topics. But for you especially, that 28 degrees of Capricorn, where Pluto will station to go retrograde, is your 5th house. So Pluto will expect you to dig deep, to reveal and to face some maybe at first sight unpleasant topics and situations concerning either your romantic relationships, your children, or your hobby, or even your business. So anything that you generally really love and cherish and that brings you joy. Maybe it's about stopping for a second all this problem solving, working, helping others, being busy, and actually Pluto stopping also. It's like all the attention of the universe is to this point, and it's like, hey, Virgos, what do you actually love doing? What brings you just pleasure and joy? Are you paying attention to your love life? Are you paying attention to your children? Maybe the topic about having children, which you will discuss with your partner, or maybe it's about really power struggles and power dynamics with your children, with your partners. Maybe you know, your kids will come and suddenly share with you a moment from their childhood that you overlooked and was not important from your perspective, but for them it caused possibly some deeper influence, impact psychologically. Pluto is about emotions and psychology, and something that was swept under the carpet, but has to eventually be released in order not to explode like an atomic bomb, you know. So, of course, it might be related to finances coming to your hobby or business, or shared finances with children or loved partners. On the 30th, Mercury goes into Gemini, kind of your sister sign, yeah, because Mercury also rules Gemini. So a lot of chats and active communication in your 10th house of career and work. So there might be some contract signing, documents researching, market maybe researching for a better position, negotiation for upgrade and raise, maybe a lot of communication with your superiors or parents. And the same day, we have the partial solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Taurus. That's for your 9th house. So solar eclipses are powerful new beginnings because it's like 100 times stronger new moon. In this case, with the North Node, karmic lunar node that points our future development. And for you, it's 9th house of being an expert, of being popular, of being heard and followed, whether through publications, through your profession, your career, maybe as a teacher, maybe as a person who just graduates and gets a, you know, degree in something. So also maybe some new opportunities open for you abroad or in an international environment. Maybe it's in a legal sphere of life. It could possibly change really your belief system, your world view, right? So maybe meeting someone from a different culture can suddenly open your eyes, and you will start being interested in this particular foreign country. You know, generally new moons are about visualizing, planning, setting intentions, making wishes. But when it's an eclipse, it's more about destiny, really, because eclipses are lunations with participation of the karmic lunar nodes, right? So the universe might be doing course corrections for us, for our soul mission, right? The soul purpose, which the soul itself chose when incarnating into this very body, personality, country, family, and so on. So it's like, depends how much we have deviated from our initial plan. Eclipses are here, like, I don't know, 4 or up to 6 times a year to make some adjustment, and we do feel it. So it's important just to, you know, be thoughtful, be relaxed, kind of go with the flow, not doing any irrational or emotional decisions, movement, cut course, burning bridges, but, you know, just be attuned to what is going on. Actually, the events of the eclipse might start happening already since from the 16th of April, the full moon, because it kind of opens this season, let's say, the spring season of eclipses. So, dear Virgos, I hope this information was useful and interesting for you. Thank you for liking my videos, for subscribing to my channel. I wish you a really positive, empowering month with only positive changes and surprises. See you soon.